Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday. Still dark 30 here, but here we go. Well, today is the day that Joe's latest idiotic mandate comes into play. Today is the day that all truckers coming across the Canadian border or the Mexican border must be fully vaccinated. I guess unless they're coming across the Mexican border and say they want asylum, maybe that will just give them a house then or something. But so expect lots of shortages and expect prices of everything to go up. Okay. Canada and Mexico obviously are the US's two largest countries that we import stuff from. Okay. Over 600 billion from each of them, nearly 700 billion from each of them. Okay. There are roughly 12,000 Canadian truckers, this is according to the Canadian government, that are not fully vaccinated. So therefore, they are not allowed in the United States. Okay, there is no testing, there is no nothing. You're either fully vaccinated or you don't come into the U.S. So 12,000 Canadian truckers are now not allowed in the U.S. under any circumstances. Mexico has a population that isn't even 2/3 vaccinated. 63.7% of the population of Mexico is vaccinated. Now, I couldn't find a breakdown of truckers, and Mexico gets a little bit more complicated because people live all throughout Mexico. I mean, southern border to northern border. Canadian, the massive majority of the population of Canada lives near the U.S. border. Okay, sure, there's some that are up in the northern territories and stuff, but that's not a significant portion. Okay. But to give you an idea of what, all right, I've told you before, Canada's our largest trade partner when it comes to us importing oil. Well, there's going to be a problem because how do you import oil? Because we don't have a pipeline, it's either going to come via truck or train. Okay, so now we have a problem there. But let's take a look at Mexico because there's a lot more finished consumer goods that we get that come from Mexico. Of that nearly 700 billion, nearly $100 billion of that is cars or car parts. Okay. $22 billion worth of engines, $5 billion in car seats, $5 billion in chassis. You got GM and Ford both have plants down in Mexico. I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to find any car in the United States that doesn't have parts made in Canada or made in Mexico. Okay, so you can expect the selection of cars to go down. You can drastically expect the price of cars to go up. Okay? Supply and demand. That's simple as it. Electric machinery. Okay, we don't think about Mexico like this. $64 billion of U.S. imports in 2018, okay, were phones, cell phones, smartphones, okay, televisions, vacuum cleaners, parts, $26 billion worth of computers and computer parts, okay. We talk about getting everything from China, Taiwan, Korea, whatever. We get an awful lot of our electronics from Mexico, okay. So you can plan on that to be little difficult. You want that new iPhone? I don't know. Maybe the parts aren't going to be there. Machinery, mechanical appliances, 63 billion parts, or $63 billion worth of parts for machinery. I mean, things that you use every day. Your toaster, your washing machine, your refrigerator, your air conditioner, okay? 44% of our household appliance stuff comes from Mexico. Want a new refrigerator? I think we've all seen this in the store. Plan on waiting 9 months. Go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's to order one. Sorry, we don't have any in stock. Okay, we don't know when we're going to get them. Agriculture. Okay. Here's a big one. All right. Food. What do we talk about? $5.9 million worth of fresh vegetables. $5.9 billion worth of fresh vegetables. $5.8 billion of fresh fruit. $3.6 billion worth of wine and beer. $2.2 billion worth of snack food. $1.7 billion worth of canned fruits and vegetables. Okay, all comes from Mexico. Those tomatoes, those onions, those bell peppers, those avocados you buy in the store, most of them are from Mexico. Okay, why do you think we keep talking about growing them? Crude oil. This gets the other one. We get a ton of oil from Mexico. Now, we have a couple of problems with this. Mexico is cutting its exports in half of oil in 2022 and shutting off the rest of the world completely in 2023. So gas prices, okay, told you before, $5 a gallon gas, bank on it this year. Medical instruments, $15 billion worth of medical instruments. I don't know, scalpels, respirators, face masks, the oxygen masks or something like that. All that sort of stuff is made in Mexico. Now, we need the Mexican economy, okay, in the current situation, and the way the economies are currently running, we need Mexico as a trade partner. We need Canada as a trade partner. Y'all know I believe in isolationism. It's not like you can snap your fingers and go, effective immediately, everything we use in the United States is going to be made here. Okay, it doesn't quite work that way. But Joe is pretty much doing that to us. Effective immediately, if you aren't vaccinated, you can't cross the Canadian border into the United States. Effective immediately, if you aren't vaccinated, you can't cross the border to the United States. Guys, I know you've seen it a million times. You've seen it in the stores. I mean, I don't pick one. The grocery store, the department store, the hardware store. You've seen stuff being short. You've seen the prices go up. And we all know it. We all say it constantly. Get it now because nothing's getting cheaper. Okay? It's not only that nothing's getting cheaper, it's nothing's getting here. So you're not going to be able to get a lot of this stuff, period. I'm not trying to panic anybody. I'm not trying to fear porn anybody. I'm just giving you the realistic figures of what's going on and what the potatoes' stupidity is doing to this country. They are trying to destroy this economy, guys. Do not, under any circumstances, believe otherwise. Any of these people that tell you, oh, my government will never let me fail, or let me starve, this is just a blip. Yeah, right. Just like inflation was transitory, right? None of this stuff is going to be fixed until we get rid of this stupidity that's going on with not letting legal people in, but letting illegal people in. I mean, the logic of this, somebody please explain this to me. How a truck driver with food or with medical supplies or with car parts can't come into the United States unless he's been double vaccinated. But Jose with no skills, no nothing, and is completely destitute, just with his hand out saying, gimme, 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 we welcome with open arms. Please. I mean, you now see these stories. I mean, we saw yesterday, day before, where Biden gave his speech and talking about, I don't know if the 2022 elections are going to be legitimate, yada, 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 yada. Okay. Now you're seeing all these pundits coming out saying, oh, the GOP wants 2024 to be the last election ever. They want to install a king in the United States. And I'm thinking to myself, deflection again? Okay. Everything was running well up until the beginning of 2020. COVID kicked us in the ass in 2020. And you know what? We were doing okay. 2021, we should have been on the upswing. Instead, we are going down like the Titanic with this leadership. Everything and anything Joe and his administration are touching is turning to shit. And you and I are the ones paying for it. The only possible thing we can do is be as self-sufficient as possible to ride out the SHTF event that is the Biden presidency. I pray to God we all make it through, because God knows in 3 years, who knows if we're all still here. Pinball out.